Hi everyone, it's been quite a long time since I did anything here, so uh, it's been almost 2 years, probably a year and a half or something like that. I actually did record some other videos of XCOM, some fun stuff which I might put on, and also some other games, but I've never actually got to putting it on the web for variety of reasons. Anyway, but I thought this thing is definitely something that I should try to put on because I really like Warhammer, be it the fantasy or the 40k. I think it's great settings. Um, they're both great settings. When Chaos Gate came out, I thought, okay, let's give it a look, and I really liked it. There are issues with it. Most obvious one is that the AI is actually pretty bad. It's very predictable, and you can game it a lot. Um, Once you get sort of harder enemies, it gets trickier. I haven't been through the whole campaign yet. I've been through the start, so I sort of know what to expect. But I thought, okay, let's start a legendary campaign on this and see how it goes. As you can see here, I've been playing a bit, but I want to do something better. Legendary campaign. Enemies have way more hit points, higher stun values, larger squads, longer recovery time, only one resilience basically, so it dies. Low rewards, plus 50 research cost, plus 50 construction cost, 2 plus. It's if you thought that the Reckless was bad, Legendary is really hard. So I'm okay, let's go on the Grandmaster mode, and I'll switch off the tutorial because probably anyone who wanted to see did see the tutorial. To be honest, the first mission is basically almost part of the tutorial as well, but the tutorial takes quite a lot of time, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to dive in straight away. The format is going to be similar to my XCOM videos, which means mission, then afterwards sort of the strategic part, and when we get before the next mission, that's where the episode will end. That means that some of them might be short, some of them might be longer, we'll see. Anyway, let's go. I will skip some of the videos, like this one. I won't skip other ones.
Baleful edict. Prepare for my arrival.
Duty calls, Commander. We should open a Vox link.
Inquisitorial vessel. Permission granted to come aboard.
Thank the God Emperor I found you. I must commandeer this vessel at once.
Impossible. We are bound for Titan. The edict cries out for repair.
The Tech Priest speaks the truth, Inquisitor. Our last crusade bled us dry.
I'm not blind, Knight. But heresy does not operate at our convenience. My destination is Koromar Prime, within this very system. Not such a taxing journey, I'd expect.
And what is it that you hope to find there?
This.
Beneath rotting skies, the air thickens with a world's final breath. Seeds planted in flesh and bone, watered with blood and tears. A warrior alone in the garden of a grinning god.
These are scraps of astropathic whimsy.
There's more.
It grows. It spreads. A great dispersal upon the etheric wind. The bloom proliferating. First, then Koromar, then world after world. Its roots spread from an ancient veil. Inquisitor, hear me! Hear me! Hear me! Who tends the garden?
The astropath sacrificed himself to send that message.
Now you understand why we must investigate.
Commander, we cannot risk further damage to this vessel.
It is the chapter ship, Dominus. The Inquisitor has every right to request our support.
It is not a request.
Commander, with your leave, we will set our course for this Koromar Prime.
Yes. Good. That will do for now.
Okay, the intro is really cool. I apologize, I think I might have cut the volume down at the start of it. I try to fix it as soon as possible. Hopefully it's all captured okay now. Anyway, let's go and dive into this. So let's start the mission. This is basically...
Report. Signals from quarantine beacons detected in the upper atmosphere, but the surface itself is silent.
Plague, Commander. Send your squad to the surface.
Knights of Titan, you are the instrument of the Emperor's will. Make planetfall and discover if the Inquisitor's fears are founded.
Okay, so we are back here. We've got the Justicar Ailanthus, who survived the original introduction, the tutorial mission, and we will be getting something for him. I found that the initial abilities that I want to really learn are these two. The Hammerhead, we will use later on, and the ability to use Terminator armor. The ones that... Actually, no. You want to go here into leadership discipline, because this allows you to give you more APs to your squad mates, and that's excellent. That's actually better than this. We can get the Hammerhead with our Interceptor, who's going to be sort of a good guy. On the loadout, I've unlocked some things, so I'm going to change the loadout a bit. As you can see, change the force sword, so I'm going to give him a bit of crit. And on ranged weapons, I'm also going to give him a bit more crit. And the armor type, Terminator armor, because that's what we unlocked. Oh, sorry. No more here, armor type, Terminator armor equipped. Yeah, finally. I'm not going to modify them much because it's... I could spend days and days modifying it. Maybe I will between the games, sort of off the screen, and we'll see. Anyway, Purgator. What I want to give him is our good silencer, because I think this is one of the best weapons in the game. Basically, it has high range. It's the scattershot doesn't. Oh, now it costs willpower. It didn't used to. Okay, and it's yeah. So it was better than the Psychonon, because Psychonon sort of didn't. Let me go back then. He does 4 damage. And it costs 2 will points. No, I think Silencer is still better. So Silencer, Disruption is actually quite useful at times. And yes, I can't Overwatch. But hey ho, there is always a cost. So, and we are going to select our Interceptor. Interceptor is sort of our main killer, main assault person. So we'll try to get him as much threat as possible, because that's what he will be using to get back his APs wherever possible. Anyway, that's what's ready, so I'll start the mission. The first mission is very, it's always the same. There are no surprises, no nothing, so let's go.
Commander, have your men look for signs of this plague.
Be vigilant, brothers.
Okay, so the first squad is located here, the second squad drops here. Yeah. The first mission is always the same. It's
and surely we hunt them.
This is, I think, where XCOM is better, because it actually does bring in some. I don't know whether it has more maps. I think actual maps are more procedurally generated now, although it's still a lot of the same, similar at least. But the maps here are not procedurally generated, they are created by the team, which makes for some nice maps. Don't get me wrong.
I am with you.
Oh, damn, I already
Powers
discovered
protect
them. I
us.
didn't want to. It makes for some nice things, but you know, it's
Brothers, stand ready.
it's
Praise the
not
Emperor.
that great. Okay, so this is no, I won't call it the trick. This is the tactics here. You get them here. Our nice Purgator. He blows them up, but there is also this thing here, so it really blows them up. First 3 kills, and we haven't even done much.
Need more rounds.
Oh, well, okay.
My blade
We'll
is
leave it.
yours.
This is an excellent ability. It's basically saving the.
With alacrity.
You're trading one will point for possibly many action points.
Vengeance!
Yeah, I like to, especially now when I'm killing the squad, I don't really want to stun unless there is something special around that, which I'm sure most of you know what it is. So I prefer to drops the annoyance and kill the guy to get some XP and move on. Yeah.
Han,
You you don't even have to do anything.
I
So
am
we have a
with
second squad here. Everyone has
at once.
done their thing, reloaded.
At your command.
The brigade is reloaded now.
Out through.
Here,
Yes, Commander.
our Justicar a bit.
What is your will?
I don't want to move on too much. You can see that the bloom counter here is increasing, but right now it's a problem for us. Again, I'm not going to explain the mechanisms of the game because the game's been out for a while now, so I assume that most of you do know how it works.
Standing
If
ready.
you don't,
It will be done.
then I'm sure that you will pick it up
Here.
fairly quickly.
On my way.
Yep, okay, here is our target,
At your
enemy
service.
spawn.
Moving out.
In the lore, Grey Knights are a very, very special chapter
Yeah.
of Space
On
Marines.
the way.
Special in many ways. For example, all of the
Your command.
chapters of Space Marines are basically genetically modified based on the genes of their founders, so-called primarchs, who are, on the other hand, the sort of genetical sons, I would say, of the Emperor himself. And the Emperor is like a superhuman who lived 10,000 years ago and longer, and then unified the Earth, then sort of got really badly bounded in the first Chaos War, and since then basically was just like a rotting husk embedded in a throne, helping the mankind to actually travel through space. It's complicated. If you want to learn more about it, I do suggest that the lore is extremely detailed, extremely in depth, so it's a great thing. But anyway, so all of those other Space Marine chapters come from the effectively 20, if I remember right, founding primarchs, of which when the Chaos War started, that was basically like a civil war where half of the Space Marine legions got corrupted and sided with Chaos, led by one called Horus, and fought against the remaining loyalists, where of course led by the Emperor, who suffered his sort of semi-mortal wounds, actually fighting Horus, who he killed. Anyway, so back to the Grey Knights. Grey Knights differ from the other chapters that basically their genetic lineage is to the Emperor himself, which make all of them very powerful psychers. Psychers is sort of like sorcerers in 40k, to sort of TLDR this thing. And in other chapters, sort of there are some librarians and chaplains who are psychers, but in Grey Knights, it's literally every single one of them is a psyker. And they specialize in destroying demons, in fighting demons and fighting chaos. And one thing that they have also very special is that while even in the loyalist chapters, some Space Marines now and then fall under the influence of chaos. In Grey Knights, not a single one of them in 10,000 years was corrupted. And the last thing there is that while most of the other chapters are sort of well known, the Grey Knights are extremely secretive. They are so secretive that only few people really know that they exist. Some people, but even then very few, thinks they are myth, and most people have no idea that sort of anything like Grey Knights does exist. Well, even the Inquisitor we saw in the cutscene, she is from Ordo Malleus, which is like the order of Inquisitor that specializes in fighting chaos. And even there, not all of them actually know that someone like Grey Knights exist. And that's despite that basically the Grey Knights are what they call chamber militant, so military arm of the Order Malleus, of the Inquisition. So even those guys who could know the most about them don't. So they're very, very special, and that's why we are seeing some of the psychic
The
abilities,
Emperor likes our path.
teleportation.
Yes,
well,
Commander.
technically it's probably not psychic
The
ability as
orders?
such, but they decided to
As
do it.
ordered.
Anyway, so that was a bit like a short
I'm here to serve.
version of the
Once.
history of
What is your will?
Grey Knights, and let's get us on with destroying the evil spawn of evil.
As you will.
Yeah, here they are. So these are like reanimated
That
corpses.
creature.
Yeah, yes,
Inquisitor, we
that
have seen
creature
that
is
walk this
the...
way before.
As have I. Poxwalkers are evidence of warp corruption. This is no natural plague.
Okay, what I can do with Purgator is basically, again, run here. Die, bastards!
I will need to examine this
And all of
corpse
them
and...
are
I
dead.
will not tolerate this contamination spreading to my servitors.
Do not obstruct me, Tech Priest. I will follow proper protocols. A satisfactory effort. Now return with my carcass so I can set to work.
We will deliver them to you as soon as containment is properly confirmed and sanctified.
Be swift about it. If this plague has already spread beyond this planet, then we will have far more ground to cover.
Excellent. Okay, a victory on our first mission. So let's debrief and go to the strategic side, and then get the last. Okay, kill all enemies. We kill them. Servitors is what we are using for rebuilding things, so it's great. We've got some, and let's see whether we will get a promotion. No, we didn't. Yeah, we need this guy to get more, because we really need to promote this guy. Okay, we have 6 days until we can repair a reactor, and our Inquisitor is investigating this. You can get some of the
You
background
seek
by
wisdom,
talking
Commander.
to the
I am
various
no ancient,
people
but might be of some help.
on the ship. I'm not going to read it out because again, it's a cool part of the story, but most people would have seen it. I'm going to click through it, so you can read through it if you want.
She already
I'm
makes
not going
demands
to
on a
read
ship
it.
badly in need of restitution. Even we must respect the authority of the Inquisition when the situation demands it. It is a term that has fallen out of fashion. It was a strategic decision. By all means. It seems the Emperor has other plans for me. A matter between myself and the Emperor.
Excuse me.
I hope I can be of some use. He had a fitting end to his noble life. Why indeed, it is not my place to say. Certainly. I hope that aids you, brother.
Okay. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these things because I assume that most people do know about how it behaves. So
Protocol demands a preliminary salutation. Consider this requirement fulfilled. I will not have the edict put at risk, even for an Inquisitor. The ship will remain sterile. The baleful edict has never let any of the brotherhoods that have traveled in her down. That is the way of the Inquisition. Affirmative. We have been the primary vessel for the Commander for the past 22 years. He was a leader in the Grey Knights, so he was revered. He did not suffer fools, or those that dared countenance his authority. Defiance suggests an emotional need to obstruct or obfuscate. Indeed, I serve the Omnissiah. The Ecclesiarchy's Imperial Creed carries only a muted echo of the Machine God's true will.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. She is actually a human, believe it or not. She is obviously heavily cybernetized. So it's like a cyborg, where probably only the brain more or less remains, and maybe something. She looks to be breathing, so I guess she has something like a breathing apparatus. But you've got this mechanicum, which in the Imperium, which is basically the technological side of it, which turned into religion. And one of the things that they worship is the Omnissiah, which they call as a mechanical god. Which some say it's the same, some say it's not. Again, I could spend hours talking about this, but I won't. I will let you find it yourself. Not in this game, I guess, but it's really like the lore is so incredibly deep. There are literally tens of thousands of pages of it. So I would suggest that if you are interested, and I think you could be, go and read
Affirmative. I must attend to repairs.
And let's talk to Inquisitor.
You have my attention, Knight. This one appears to be some kind of host. An object is nestled within. It is different from what I've seen with these puppets in the past. Very well. The Grey Knights will be needed in this task, and it is your duty to marshal them. I had previously been hunting heretics siphoning power directly from the Hadex anomaly, not far from your previous campaign. Divining the visions of astropaths is an art in itself. My research beckons.
So let's go. And here we have a planet view, and we have the star map where we can't do anything until the plasma reactor is repaired. So all we can do here is just basically stop in and pause time. Advance time, sorry.
The Dominus has restored the star map to its full function. We are receiving a barrage of scanning data and astropathic scrapings from across the sector. This plague appears to have already spread its tendrils far and wide. We are faced with reports of 2 infected systems. We should monitor this infestation carefully and judge where best to direct our forces while the Inquisitor pursues her answers. Failure will cost many souls.
Okay, so the plasma reactor is operational. We'll start a new project immediately, and the one thing is there is so many choices here. When you Augurium is very useful. It means that you get sort of faster, like more time to travel and what have you. But I believe that to actually get it, you need to do this. So plasma reactor is going to be the. Oh, I can't even upgrade it. Well, there are 2 things. Augmentation chamber gives us the servitor production, which the sooner we start, the better. So let's do this, and it's only 3 servitors. Again, servitors are basically like cybernetized things, but the interesting thing is that they make them out of humans. They take prisoners, lobotomize them, and make them to do stuff. Yeah, for the future. In future there is only more, that's what I keep saying. So, we'll advance time some more, until we get a warning that new bloom activity, 3 new missions. And the best thing is to have a look, like where you can do most. Like you can see here, and I would say that probably this one is what we want to do. It has 2 pips. It gives us grimoires, which is not great. It's okay. It's research, and well, sure, we need the research on this difficulty. And then we have servitors, which helps us to repair it. So let's see. We might be able to move both, but I don't think we will. I might switch off these animations because it does take time and it's can be a bit of a pain. Kill all enemies. Okay, so we will leave it here, and we will go to the next mission in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and if you want to leave any feedback, comments, likes, subscribes, that would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you at the next episode. Thanks, bye.